Hell of a thing. GOP rep tears into the GOP for doing absolutely nothing for people. Here it is.
One thing. I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, one, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One. Anybody sitting in the complex, if you want to come down to the floor and come explain to me one material, meaningful, significant thing the Republican majority has done besides, well, I guess it's not as bad as the Democrats.
Put up this picture full mass. Sir, you definitely have a point, but you all do have a race-baiting bigot at the top of your ticket, polling at number one. Now, that's something. That's not what I would like to see, but that is what the Republican leadership has delivered. As the Hill reports, Representative Chip Roy, Republican out of Texas, got heated on the House floor Wednesday because he has nothing to campaign on. They have not delivered anything other than rhetoric and red meat. Tearing into the GOP colleagues and GOP leadership over their approach to funding and policy battles, and criticizing them for not being willing to force a shutdown to try to coerce Democrats into giving them policy concessions during a nearly 1 hour speech. Roy declared, quote, "This country is in trouble and the time for excuses is over. No more excuses. No more excuses from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. But most importantly of all, no more excuses from my colleagues on this side of the aisle," he said, blasting his own party. "We're blank it all away," he says. "We're giving it away. All that they fought for, all of those freedoms, we're giving it away. Why? Because we're too cowardly to stand up and do our job," Roy said, shouting on the House floor. "Oh no, a shutdown? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, we can't have a shutdown heading into Thanksgiving. What will they say or do? How about we stand up and fight?" And obviously, I completely disagree with the congressman on this matter. Remember, when the government shuts down, it's not because it happens automatically. Congress fails to do their job, but Congress still gets a paycheck. The members of Congress, they still get paid, while those who depend on that money for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for everyday life will not. While he may live in a bubble on this policy and believe it is somehow accepted, celebrated, that people won't get paid due to your squabbling, so I can assure you that they rather you actually work with than work against. Roy's speech, though, came after he and more than a dozen of the hardline conservatives tanked a procedural vote on a funding bill, in part over objections about it not including conservative policies they wanted, and partly in retaliation for the House GOP leadership pushing through a clean funding extension Wednesday with the help of Democrats. So Roy suggested in his speech that the House Republican majority had not done anything meaningful. One thing, I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, one that I can go campaign on and say, we did, Roy said. Come on, Roy. Look at your district, sir. All you have to do is say Trump, 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 and you will get reelected. Your party is no more. There is no Republican Party. You all do not have a platform. The platform is whatever the hell Trump is thinking when he wakes up that morning. That's why most Republicans in the US Congress, they are afraid to actually have an exacting policy agenda because they don't know how Trump will feel about that policy. You know why? Because Trump doesn't know how he will feel about the policy. He feels differently about policies every single day. All right, Yasmin, thoughts here.
That's so funny what you just said. Chip Roy's district is actually really, really cute. It's Texas wine country. It's a tourist destination, but it is incredibly rural and very conservative. I was just there, but I stick to the vineyards. But it's funny, he's onto something, Chip Roy. He's mad that the government did not shut down, which is pathetic and sad for a lot of different reasons. But he's at least self-reflective enough to recognize that his party doesn't do anything. But isn't that the Republicans' modus operandi a little bit? They literally obstruct progress and they protect the status quo as a matter of protocol. They don't do anything unless it benefits themselves. And by themselves, I mean them, the Congress people, not necessarily their constituents. So in a really weird way, even though I think he's incredibly misguided, Chip Roy might strangely be considered more well-intended than some of his Republican colleagues, solely in the sense that he's actually wanting to do something for his constituents, supposedly.
Yeah. But if the government shut down, he would not have been angry. He would have said that. Yeah, that's a win, everybody. We're losing, but we're winning.
That's what his constituents want, apparently.
Right. Yeah, exactly.